Hello, everyone. Welcome to Verbling. Hi there. I'm Teacher Oakley, and today we're going to continue looking at the IELTs reading test. In fact, we're going to do some practice. We're going to jump right in with one of the main question types, which is adding headings. Okay, let me just welcome everyone to the class, and we're going to jump right into it. Welcome to the class. Hello, Faisal.
Hello, teacher.
Welcome. Hi.
Okay.
Hello,
Hello, teacher. How
Luau.
are you?
I'm good.
Hello, Oakley. I'm fine.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, thank you.
Likewise. Hello, Raphael. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you and hear you. Hello, Yusuke.
Hello, nice to meet you, Oakley.
Nice to meet you as well.
Have a
Yusuke.
nice day.
Well, I'm working on it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's hot, though. So hot here. I live in the Philippines, and it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Luzon Island. 1 month.
Luzon Island. As a
Yeah,
matter of fact, yes.
too hot.
Okay. It is. And hello, Cesar. Welcome.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm okay. Okay, you guys, we're going to look at the IELTS reading test. Now, let me, I put a couple reading passages, attached a couple documents with reading passages to the class description in Verbling. We're going to start with the first one, a global warning. Okay, now, here is the thing. If I'm taking the IELTS test, yesterday we talked a lot about strategies and techniques, but let me share this with you. Again, you may have this strategy where you try to read the entire thing, but again, each passage is 2,000 to 2,500 words. So unless you're a very fast reader, this is going to take a lot of time. You have 60 minutes to answer 40 questions in the reading section of IELTS. That may be too much time. However, I also recommended some people may want to skim the reading passage and then go to the questions. Others may in fact want to go directly to the question and then scan for the keywords in the question to try to figure out the answer. However, here is something you are most definitely going to run into, and here's a strategy you may use. All right, you open up, you're given an answer sheet and a work booklet kind of thing, okay, as you're taking the test. Your answer sheet is one simple piece of paper with 40 lines, and you write your answers, your 40 answers onto the piece of paper. That's your answer sheet. That's important. You have to turn that in for your score. The worksheet you can do anything to. You can underline things, circle things. All right, so I open my worksheet, and here I see my reading passage number 1. It may advise me to spend 20 minutes. Okay, that's logical. At least in the academic, I will likely have 3 passages in 1 hour. So that's simple math. This is just advice, by the way. In the writing section of IELTS, it will advise you to spend 20 minutes on the first task and 40 minutes on the second task. You do not necessarily have to take that advice. In the listening section, it will advise you to spend 1 minute reviewing your answers and then 1 minute previewing. Actually, I highly suggest you spend the entire 2 minutes previewing information on the listening test. You can't really change the past, so it's a waste of time. When you see these sorts of instructions or helpful information in IELTS, note the modal should. It's advice only. You don't have to do that. As opposed to the TOEFL test, where you have very clearly defined time limits which you must follow. In IELTS, you often have instructions with should. Okay, that being said, I open up the passage. I see that I've got a lot of reading to do. Oh, geez. Maybe I should skim it. But I'm going to take a quick look at my questions. Uh-oh. Looky here, folks. We're going to jump right in today to perhaps one of the more difficult types of questions. This is the headings question. I am going to choose the most suitable heading, like a title, all right, using Roman numerals 1 to 13. Very important I follow those instructions for each paragraph from the list of headings below. Oh, geez. So I have 13 possible headings. I have 8, well, minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 answers. A, B, C, D. All the paragraphs are lettered. What does that mean? That means I have to have a very good idea of what each heading has to be, the basic, most basic summary of each paragraph. This may in fact change my strategy. It is likely, if you take the academic, well, either one, it is very, very likely that you will get a list of headings. Now, obviously, this is 9 answers. That's virtually, there's 40 questions. This is 25% of your entire score. So it would behoove you, it would help you to take your time and get this done correctly. So, for this first one, I'm going to change up strategy. Instead of going directly to questions, which wouldn't make sense since I'm clearly answering questions with each and every paragraph. I would definitely either skim first or read the whole thing first. So today, for our first reading passage, we are actually going to read this thing. Okay. Also, so the first one, everyone gets an idea of what this is like. I am going to start, and then I'll go around the room. Let's try to get this done. Okay, a global warning. Also, take a look at the title of the whole reading passage. This will start to get you thinking about what possibly we're talking about. Just like in listening, if you can sort of predict what they might talk about, this actually will help you to follow the reading passage and understand it quicker. So, okay. Here we go. A global warning. Again, I will read the first passage. Okay. The Stern Review report on the economics of climate change, published in 2006, the same year as Al Gore's highly acclaimed film and book, An Inconvenient Truth, made it clear that governments need to take the issue of global warming very seriously indeed. The Stern Review examined the issue of climate change from an economic perspective, looking at what it would cost the government to take appropriate action and what it would cost if appropriate action were not taken. The report also highlighted a number of catastrophes that would occur if urgent measures were not taken to stop the carbon dioxide production that is heating up the planet. The report indicates that in the last 200 years, average temperatures on the planet have increased by less than 1 degree Celsius. However, if we do not control the rise in carbon dioxide levels over the next 100 years, a rise of up to 5 degrees Celsius can be expected. This will have an enormous impact on global economic growth and will cause many potentially disastrous changes, including the following. Okay. Faisal, take it away.
What? Me?
Yeah, go ahead and read. We're gonna read the whole thing, and everyone, you may actually a good idea. Okay, hang on just a second. even if you're just going to skim the reading, it's a good idea to read the first and last paragraphs thoroughly, because they contain the introduction or topic paragraph and, of course, the concluding paragraph, the most important parts of the passage. So it's a good idea to do that. Now, since we know we're going to be dealing with every single paragraph in the headings question, because we looked ahead on our worksheet, actually, as we take turns reading this, if you guys have a pencil and paper, it would be a good idea to jot down, for example, B, and then what you think the main idea of this paragraph is. If you're going to put a title to this one paragraph or a heading, what would it be? This may help you later when we actually look at the question. Okay, Faisal, hit it.
Melting glaciers, beginning in the Andes and then extending to huge glaciers of Himalayas, the ice will begin to disappear, threatening the water supply of billions of people. Sea level will also rise, polluting huge areas of the world, including cities such as London and Tokyo.
There you go. Now, you read the whole thing, Faisal.
Sorry.
If you had simply scanned it, or I know you read it, so you're concentrating on reading, but what is the main idea in this paragraph that you've just read, do you think?
About some melting glacier from the
Yeah, that's it.
mountains. Okay.
Sure. In fact, they make it easier by using this construction with the melting glaciers and hyphen. Yeah, pretty much melting glaciers. Pronunciation, Faisal. Glaciers. It's a long A. Glay, as in gray. Okay. Right, that's it. Let's keep it rolling here. Luo. Next. Can you read the next paragraph C?
Yes.
Thank you.
Melting ice sheets. Not only will glacier melt, but as the planet warms up, the huge Antarctic ice sheets and the floating sea ice of the Arctic will begin to melt, again resulting in catastrophic rises in sea levels. It is estimated that Arctic summers will be ice-free within 10 years, and the landscapes of the Antarctic will change beyond recognition by 2050. The vast ice plains of Greenland are also under threat.
Okay, excellent. Good job. And Luo, what do you think? If you could boil it down to 2 or 3 words, what is this paragraph about?
This paragraph talk about melting ice sheets with threatening some places.
Yeah, keep it simple and as few words as possible. Technique to use during the IELTS reading: read a question and simplify it in your mind. Skim or read a paragraph, simplify it as much as possible. Actually, this will help. So, melting ice sheets. Beautiful. Okay, great. Raphael, can you read paragraph D?
Okay. The acidity resulting from the huge amounts of CO2 that the oceans will be absorbed will lead to the extinction of hundreds of species as marine ecosystems are destroyed. This will also threaten the fishing industry, as thousands of millions of fish die off. This in turn will destroy the livelihood of thousands of fishing communities that depend on already overfished coastal areas.
Okay. What is the central idea here, Raphael? If you have to boil it down to 1 or 2 words only, 3 words, whatever. What are they talking about?
Well, this is talking about the pollution by CO2 will make the death of the fishes in the oceans.
Okay. Now, you just read the whole thing. If I am skimming this just to get the idea what is in this paragraph, I would see fishing, fish die, fishing communities,
Combinations of Cs.
overfished. All right, here is a clue. This paragraph D is about fish and fishing. Okay.
Okay.
The additional information about acidity may be important since it's in the first sentence, but I don't know. Overall, though, we're talking fish, fish, fish. Fish, 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 fish. It talks about fish 100 times, or 4 different times. Okay, let's move on. Yusuke.
Accompanying the floods will be increasing occurrence of the drought, with decrease of up to 30% in water availability in Africa, and similar decrease in Australia. This will of course result in crop failure and malnutrition the world over. It will also lead to increase in disease, particularly in tropical regions. Large cities in the rural regions will find it increasingly difficult to provide enough water for their population.
Okay. Yusuke, what is this paragraph about? Again?
Yes. Disease.
Disease. Really? A disease. Okay, disease is. This will lead to disease. Okay, actually, I'm glad you said that. That is a result. But really what they are talking about is the cause. What is cause?
Drought.
Drought.
Yeah.
Yeah, water. Drought. Yes, I see drought. If I'm skimming drought, water availability decreases. Dry regions. Enough water. Okay. Yeah. Drought. I would agree. Okay. Moving on. Cesar.
Hello.
Hello. Can you
Okay.
try
With
F?
F.
Yes.
Right. Hurricanes, cyclones, and tidal waves. Both Al Gore's books and Stern Review indicate that if global temperatures continue to rise, we can expect a greater number of extreme weather phenomena of an increased severity. Hurricane Katrina, which devastated the United States in 2005, is cited as just one example of the kind of environmental and economic havoc that will result from unchecked global warming. Typhoons, which often cause extensive flooding, are becoming more frequent and devastating in Southeast Asia.
Okay. Okay, Cesar. All right. First of all, what is this about? And then I have something I need to talk to you about pronunciation. But what are they talking about here?
Well, this paragraph talk about the phenomena products of the climate weather, climate climate change,
Okay.
and show us about the phenomena like hurricanes and weathers.
Indeed.
Unchecked.
Right.
Okay, extreme weather.
Extreme weather. So
extreme weather.
boil
Yes.
it down to like 2 or 3 words. That's everything you just
Extreme
said.
weather.
Extreme weather, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Cesar, a little pronunciation note here.
What do you mean in Spanish or another kind of meaning about the havoc, economic havoc?
Havoc. Cry havoc and let loose the dogs of war. Famous quote from Shakespeare. Havoc is utter anarchy. Anarchy, total rioting,
All right.
bloodshed, murder, rape, burning, devastation. Absolutely insane.
Anarchy. Anarchy.
Yeah, anarchy.
All right.
It's havoc. Okay. Also, and another note for you especially, I noticed that you have a reluctance to pronounce vowels in the long form. For example, you said cyclones and tidal waves, but it's cyclones and tidal waves. Okay. Especially where you see usually a Y used as a vowel, typhoons and cyclones. It's usually a long I sound. Okay. There's one hint for you. And usually in words, for example, tidal, it comes from the word tide. All right. If you see vowel, consonant E, the first vowel is usually a long sound, even if it's in a different word form. Tidal obviously is an adjective form, and tide is a noun. But tidal comes from the noun. So there are sometimes clues that you can use about how to pronounce these vowel sounds, if they're long or short, in other words. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Extreme. You're welcome. Extreme weather. All right, let's continue. Bashar?
Okay.
Look at G.
Up to 50% of animal and plant species on the planet, beginning with those living in fragile environments such as coral reefs, tropical rainforests, and alpine tundra, will become extinct. Climate change will eventually affect every ecosystem on the planet as temperatures increase, rainforests are destroyed, and sea level rise, leading to flooding and droughts. The impact on ecosystem will be so dramatic that they will never recover from the damage caused by rising temperatures.
Okie doke. All right. What do you think? What is the main idea here?
Main idea about climate change.
Yeah. In this paragraph, yeah.
Reading for the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. When you see words repeated and repeated again, you know what? This is very likely going to come up in a question. Okay, this is definitely, or you see ecosystems, and environments is a synonym for ecosystem. Coral reefs, rainforests, alpine tundra are examples of ecosystems. All right, you can be pretty sure that's what their focus is on. Very good.
All right.
So when you were scanning it, you're reading, you're out loud saying it and saying it. Yeah, that's exactly what you would do if you were skimming through it, actually, getting the main idea. Okay. Luau, you want to try this next one?
Yes. Does all this sound too depressing even to contemplate? Well, don't despair if you are optimistic by nature. There are two approaches to tackling the problem of global warming you could take.
Okay. What about this? What the heck is this?
This tell us we cannot give up.
Yeah, it does, but actually, if I see, this is what is called in normal writing. This is a bridge. This is a bridge paragraph. There isn't a lot of information here other than saying there are two possible approaches to tackling the problem. Okay. Actually, if I saw this in the test, I would say, wait a minute, are they going to ask me for a heading for that? And actually the answer is no. I don't have to care about thinking about this too much.
Claro.
Okay.
All right. I would actually look at that and think, oh, two outlooks. All right, here's another thing I would do immediately. When I did do that, I would cross this out on the worksheet. Remember, you can write all over, scribble all over the worksheet. I would get rid of that. Just, it's an example, and they do this. They always do this in the headings. They give you one for free. So cross it out. All right, totally don't have to think about it anymore. Okay, also, first approach, second approach. Quite obvious what these two paragraphs are about, but I guess we can give them a quick read. Actually, Luau, would you mind, since you had a short paragraph, you can do this one, I'll do the last one. And then...
Oh, yes. The first approach is to begin to act locally to do your bit to reduce CO2 emissions and minimize pollution, and at the same time hoping that governments will listen to the recommendations of the Stern Review, which, while recognizing the seriousness of the threat, clearly indicates that if action is taken now, the right balance between economic growth and environmental conservation may be achieved. The report is significant both in its scope and its dates, and it does offer a positive outcome that allows economic growth to continue, so perhaps this will convince governments to take the action necessary to save the planet from environmental and economic disaster.
Okay, so this is the first approach / okay. What is the first approach, Luau?
First approach is reduce CO2 emissions, and
okay.
minimize pollution.
Act locally. Okay. And cross your fingers that the government will pay attention, which they won't. Okay, anyway. All right. Okay. The second approach, and let me finish it off. The second approach you could take if you wish to remain optimistic is to disregard the warnings of Al Gore, the Stern Review team, and other like-minded harbingers of doom, and instead opt for the much more positive and less dramatic stance taken by a very different group of scientists and economists. With its nominal leader, the Danish economist Bjorn Lomborg, the Omgivils, I have no idea how to pronounce that, group believes that many of the predictions of the environmentalists are hugely exaggerated. Like Stern, Lomborg takes a pragmatic economic approach to the environmental situation and argues for investment in environmental research and development, rather than quick fix measures that would not, he claims, solve the problem. With significantly less investment than that recommended in the Kyoto Accord or by the Stern Review report, Lomborg believes the planet can be saved. Okay, second approach, Lomborg's Omgivils group. Okay. Pragmatic economic approach. All right. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's look at questions 1 to 3. The reading questions come in groups. Please note the instructions for how to answer the questions will be different for each group of questions. It is essential that you see this. No more than 3 words. If you write 4 words, even though your answer may be correct, your answer is wrong. Very important that you look at the instructions for each set of questions you're answering. Make special note, be extra careful. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay, the Stern Review report emphasized the blank. So this is a fill-in-the-blank question. The blank to assess seriously the problem of global warming from a blank point of view. Okay, Raphael, where am I going to find this information?
Well,
What do you think? In the body of the text, 10 paragraphs, A through G, where do you think this, I can confirm this information? Any idea?
in the text, I think that this information is in the letter A.
I think you're right. That's the correct answer, Raphael. Very good. Okay. So, yeah, the question says Stern Review report emphasized the blank to assess seriously the problem. All right. Do you have any ideas, Raphael, what that might mean? Or do we need to check? Okay. I'm looking for seriously the government. Oh. Blah, 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 blah. Made it clear governments need to take the issue of global warming very seriously indeed. Do you see the answer there?
It's for me, Professor?
What do you think? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Can you see it?
Okay.
These reports, sometimes, okay, again, simplifying information. Okay, these reports, all these two sentences. These reports, I can simplify it, made it clear that governments need to take the issue of global warming very seriously indeed. All right, the question. The report emphasized the blank to assess seriously the problem. What do you think?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let me throw it out to the group. What word would fit here, which matches what we just looked at?
Maybe it's noun. Maybe government.
Well, it has.
The.
Okay, it has to be a noun. Okay, there's our first clue. Faisal, very good, actually. We see an article, a, and, or the. The only way we can use one of these is with a noun. So, absolutely. Okay, the government. The government to assess. This is an infinitive verb form. Okay, emphasize the government to assess. No, you can't emphasize a government. You might be partially right. There's a little trick here that's going on, which you may see. Okay. The Stern report emphasized what we have here. This is just restructured. Emphasize the blank to assess seriously the problem. All right. Okay. Made it clear that governments need to take the issue very seriously. All right. Emphasize, made it clear. Okay. Governments, all right, need to take the issue very seriously. Here is the thing. Actually, the correct answer here, you were partially correct. You were possibly partially correct. Because the answer here is actually need. Emphasize the need. Need was a verb in the actual reading passage. Here we're using the noun form because they have reformed the sentence. A possible correct answer, Faisal, could be emphasize the government's possessive, the government's need to assess seriously would also be a correct answer.
Okay.
So you are partially correct. But if you just wrote the government, That would be wrong. The main thing is need. All right. To assess the problem of global warming from a something point of view. Okay. If I remember correctly, that would be the sentence which follows it directly. What do you think, Yusuke? Let's check it out here. The Stern Review examined the issue of climate change from an economic perspective.
So,
Looking at what it
according
would
to
cost.
Steve Levy, explain the issue.
So the question, to fill in the blank, the problem of global warming from what point of view? Could you see it?
The people name of these two.
Economic perspective.
Sorry? I'm sorry? Who said that? I lost you there. Someone else
Economic perspective.
Okay, well, point of view means perspective.
Okay. Just
right.
Economic point of view.
From economic point of view. However, you must be grammatically correct in your answer. So if you just wrote economic, that is the right answer, but it's not the right answer. You have to be grammatically correct, so you have to use an article. You have to say from an economic point of view.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's 2 words. It's not more than 3. From an economic point of view. So you have to be very careful to be grammatically correct. You could actually have the right answer, like you just did. You're right, but you're wrong, because you must state it in a way that it would make sense in the sentence.
What is the word, teacher, please? An economical?
An economic.
An economic. All right.
Yeah, actually, that's good English to know. What is the difference between economic and economical? Economic explains something that has something to do. It's an adjective. Something to do with the economy, an economic point of view. Okay, economical is something that costs less money, a specific thing. The car, the new Toyota is very economical. That means it costs less for, gas and oil, whatever.
Yes,
all right.
Of course. Thank you. Okay.
Sure. No, it's worth noting. Thank you. Okay, and let's look at our last question here and then we're going to get into the headings. It also focuses on a number of environmental that would happen if governments do not act to prevent climate change. Cesar, any ideas? A number of environmental.
Give me a second, please. Give me a second, please.
What do you need? Okay, first of all, environmental, we have an adjective. It's another noun.
I think that it's also focused. Okay. It's also focused. Actions.
Actions. Okay. Can you see it in here? I can. Let's see here. What do they say? It also focused on a number of environmental something. Okay, here's another thing IELTS does, and they do this repeatedly. You have to look for this. Take the main verb, in this case, focused. All right? The report focused, but what's a synonym for focused? Well, how about highlighted?
Okay. Okay.
So here we can see.
Okay, this is catastrophes.
Yes, it is. Exactly. Catastrophes.
So it focuses on a number of environment catastrophes. Okay.
Right. That is correct. You would also a correct answer would be disasters, which is
Mhm.
the same meaning as catastrophes. Number of
Mhm.
environmental catastrophes or disasters. Either one of those answers would be correct here. All right. So that's basically what you're doing. You're looking for keywords, especially verbs.
Mhm.
Okay. After that, possibly nouns, especially strange-looking nouns. Rarely, if ever, are you going to be scanning for adjectives, adverbs, or definitely not for, words like the. No, that's ridiculous. So you're going to scan for words, and also please note you're not just scanning for the word, you're scanning for the synonyms as well. And like the first answer, perhaps the sentence may be reconstructed so that you're going to have to use a noun form instead of a verb form in your answer. Yeah. Okay, now, headings. Now the tough part. Okay. Now, hopefully, as we moved along, let's talk strategy. Some of these hopefully will be easier. And we're going to use process of elimination to figure this out. Paragraph A. Okay, out of all these headings, remember we've already eliminated number 9. That's gone. What heading or title for paragraph A, what do you think are possibilities? Faisal.
Hmm. Wait a minute. Perhaps about temperatures, average, carbon dioxide, um, long-term solution? No.
Are you knowing yourself?
It's about wait. Appropriate action with appropriate action. Particles, not rising carbon production. Alarming studies. Maybe 10.
That would make sense to me. They're introducing the 2 reports, which is plural, studies, and they're saying, that makes perfect sense to me. Now, real-time strategy, the worksheet looks just like this, what I'm sharing with you. I might write, for example, X here. I might write X and maybe a question mark. I'm not 100% sure of that, but looks really good to me. I'm about 90% sure, but I'm not going to write this into in fact, I'm not going to write any of these answers onto my answer sheet until I am completely done with this entire exercise, with all 9 questions. All right, that seems good to me. Lua, how about B? Paragraph
It's
B.
9. It's 9. Trouble and pose.
Trouble at the poles. Wait a minute.
Melting glaciers.
Right, was it melting
Maybe
glaciers?
7. Maybe.
Sinking cities.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a problem here. Okay, now the thing is, I knew this was going to come up. This always comes up when I look at this particular exercise with students, because you have to understand something here. These 2 things are different. That's why they're different paragraphs. Melting glaciers, melting ice sheets. Okay, C talks about Antarctic and Arctic. That's the ice at the poles, right? The North Pole and South Pole are the Arctic and the Antarctic. Glaciers, on the other hand, are the ice buildup in the high mountains of the world, the Andes and the Himalayas, which are not at the poles.
Okay.
So actually, those are 2 different things. These often get confused. People always confuse this. The ice at the poles we call the ice sheets, and the ice in the mountains, for example, we call glaciers. Okay, so I think we can eliminate the poles. That's quite obviously going to be for C, I would say. Yes?
Yes, I think so.
I think so. Okay, so there's no answer that says glaciers. Well, that stinks. So what else can we have to revisit this a little. Okay, the ice will disappear, threatening the water supply. Sea levels will also rise, flooding cities, huge areas including cities. Okay, water supply, sea levels rise, flooding cities. Wow. Now what? What does that leave us with, do you think?
Maybe sinking cities, but I don't think sinking similar to flood. So I don't think it's the same thing.
I don't think so either, but maybe they're taking some artistic liberties here. All right, do you have any other possible answers?
Sinking cities? Sinking? What do you mean sinking?
Yeah, sinking means, like you're in a boat and I drill a hole in the bottom of your boat. You're going to sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. Thanks.
Underneath the water. Is there any other possibilities here?
Number 5, water quizzes.
Yeah, perhaps. Okay, I agree. Perhaps. First of all, while investigating this further, I was able to also eliminate number 9, trouble at the poles. I know that's paragraph C. I'm really sure of that one. So, I would write the number 9 here with no question mark. I'm absolutely sure. Now, B, yeah, I'm not absolutely certain. So I would actually write 5 and 7 here with a question mark. I'm not sure which one it is. Okay? And I would move on.
For the paragraph B is 5 or 7?
That's the thing. I'm not sure. See, what I'm trying to do is teach you strategy. So what I would do, this is going to happen this is extremely common. You'll have 2 answers which may be possible. One may be a little better than the other. I think maybe sinking cities is better than the other, simply because later on I know they're talking about drought. And I know that's coming up. I don't really see anything that matches drought, but okay, let's just go on to D. What was D about?
Fishing.
Fishing. Yeah. Okay. Fishing. Is there anything here that mentions fishing, or anything close to fishing?
Intensive farming.
I know that there is in fact fish farming. However, fish farming is actually done. Well, okay, it can be done in the ocean. That's true. But the paragraph doesn't actually mention fish farming. They do mention fishing. I realize fish farming as a concept and an English word does exist. And a very controlled harvesting of fish. I understand that. But in the paragraph, they talk about
endangering sea life.
Yeah, I agree. In number 6.
Number 6, I agree.
Is there anything else even close to it? Not really. Fishing. No, I agree with you all. 6, endangered sea life. I cross that off the list and I mark it definitively. Number 6 for D. Great. Now, this is very typical. As you move along, you go faster and faster. And the better prepared you are, the faster you can go on this section. All right. Paragraph E. What was that? Does anybody remember? What was E?
Drought.
Drought.
Oh, this is going to be the tough one. Okay. Drought. What do you think here?
Water crisis, perhaps.
Water crisis.
Water crisis.
Water crisis too.
Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, now I can obviously draw a line through the 5 that I had written in paragraph B, and I know that that is in fact going to be sinking cities. And I can write the letter for water crisis in E. See, we're moving along now. F. What was F?
Extreme weather.
Yes, it was. Very good. Okay, what is the best answer?
Yeah, I agree. Extreme weather.
Extreme
Oh, extreme weather.
Number 4.
Oh, we guessed it
Oh.
exactly. Duh. Okay, yes, when we were first going through, we exactly guessed this word combination. Also, this will happen to you. You will be able to guess exact answers. Some of the strategy for the reading test, can you guess the answer before you actually look at the possible answers? In multiple choice questions, for example, you will be surprised. You'll surprise yourself once or twice. You'll be able to guess the answer before you even see what your options are. Okay, very good. Extreme weather. Where are we now? G?
G. Ecosystem.
What was G? Oh, ecosystems. Oh, okay.
Killing wildlife.
Killing wildlife. Okay. I don't really remember it that well.
Talk about
All right. Okay, G. Oh, animal and plant species. Okay, animal and plant species are in fact wildlife. Wow. Indeed they are. Okay.
sorry.
So just to confirm, I looked at it briefly to see if I could see something in there that was synonymous with wildlife, because I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember, which I found immediately. That looks good to me. Any other possibilities? Here's another tip. Just because you see an answer immediately, oh, that looks good, don't stop. Actually, you should, give a quick look to the other possibilities. Sometimes there's a better answer than, okay, so if multiple choice questions, just because A looks really good does not mean you should, I know you're fighting the clock, but don't be tempted to just write letter A and never look at B, C, and D. You should look at the other options just to make sure. Okay, I don't really see anything else that's close to that. It couldn't be Arctic wildlife. That's way too specific. They talk about coral reefs, so there's no coral reefs in the Arctic. Okay. Now I know these two are going to be a little difficult. The last two paragraphs, because there's solutions, solution 1 and solution 2. Okay. Let's see here. We basically eliminated all of these answers here. These are gone. And also these are gone. Basically, there's no paragraph specifically talking about Arctic wildlife. There's nothing about burning coal whatsoever. So I would eliminate all of these. I have 2 more answers, and intensive farming has nothing to do with the last 2 paragraphs, so I'm stuck with these 2. Again, process of elimination. All right, which one's I and which one's J? That's the question. I only have 2 answers. I only have 2 paragraphs. Which is which? Anybody want to go out on a limb and take a guess? Well,
The balancing act is for G. For G.
No. Balance is I. I see the balance word at the I. Here.
Really?
The right balance between economic, maybe? A right balance.
Between economic growth and the environmental conversation. Yes.
Right, there it is. Okay, you're skimming for that word balance, and you found it. Congratulations. I think you've got it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And then, you know, balancing act, okay, he was able to find the actual information, terrific. Long-term solutions, even though I don't think that's a very good answer. It's the only answer I have
Okay.
left. So it must be right. Has to be right. Right? Okay. Very good, gentlemen. You did it. Okay, but wait, that's not all. You also get, all right, complete each of the following statements 1 to 3 with the best ending A through H. All right, so you're completing a sentence with an entire phrase. So, for example, Longberg believes that we can save the planet. Okay, I can cross that one out. All right, they gave me an example. All right, the Stern Review points out that it is not too late.
To find a solution to the problem?
Yeah.
F?
Now, it's definitely going to be 2. It's not too late to do something, yes. Okay. To find a solution to the problem, I think that's probably correct.
It's probably, yeah.
Most likely. Again, even though I'm 98% sure, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to write anything on my answer sheet till I'm 100%. All right. Well, the next one. Sorry? Comment?
To stop the letter D, to stop it. No.
To stop exaggerating the issue? No. No.
No.
No one
No, I don't
talks
think
about
so.
that. In fact, if you see something kind of silly like this, you can just cross that out. Kind of like the coal. You know, there was nothing about coal. As soon as I saw that, I could have crossed that out just to eliminate it, because I absolutely am 100% sure there was nothing about that. Okay. How about the next one? More optimistic commentators like Bjorn Lornborg believe that politicians and scientists need... wait. Here you go, Luo. You might be right. Where did he go?
B. To strike the balance between economy and environment.
No, B was in, if you remember, that was in paragraph I. That was like the
Sorry.
Al Gore approach. This is the Bjorn Lornborg. This is the J paragraph. So, actually, I think Luau was right with this one. Stop exaggerating the issue. He thinks that it's exaggerated.
Yes.
Yeah. And then finally, Bjorn argues that short-term measures will not help. Do you remember? I do, kind of. Short-term measures would be the thing I'm looking for here in the last, definitely in the last paragraph. Where is it?
This guy, but Bjorn said that the prediction of the environments are rudely exaggerated.
Yes, he did. Or hugely exaggerated.
And so this is the letter D, to stop exaggerating the issue.
Right. Okay, rather than quick fix measures, he would not, he claims, solve the problem. So, right, he believes politicians and scientists need to stop exaggerating the issue, right? And then he argues that short-term measure will not help to find a solution to the problem.
Okay.
Basically. Again, many times you're just looking for rephrased information from the reading. And everything will be in the reading. It's just, you notice how much of this test is about just rephrasing things in a different way. Rephrasing content, phrases, sentences, even individual vocabulary words. Okay, we only made it through one passage. Didn't even make it through that. But okay, we'll try this again tomorrow with some different type questions and different type material at the same time. I have to go. Why? Because I have to come right back here to Verbling and start a new class. So thank you guys. Thank you very much. Good job today,
Okay,
by the
thank
way.
True,
you.
teacher. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you there.
Thank you. Okay, see you in a bit.
To catch you right.
I'm stuck. Here we go.